Hey everyone, it's Will. So, if you guys haven't watched any of my previous videos, I study a lot of YouTube channels. I just watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube. I've spent a lot of my life on YouTube, and it's been very entertaining and it's been inspirational. Sometimes it's been unproductive. It's been a lot of things. But really, it's one of the most interesting things that's happened in history. I mean, people are carving out a full-time income, some of them doing more than, fairly profitable, like a lot of money. I'm not even going to tell you how much because you're going to get pissed off. And trust me, it's not everyone. It's very, very tough to get to this point, but some of them are doing fairly well. And it's so interesting and inspiring because these people have worked. Some of them worked very, very hard to get to a point where they are now doing something that they really, really enjoy, whether it's cooking or baking or prank videos or kissing girls, some of them, or playing video games and turning this into a career. It's funny because I always considered, would I be happy or should I be happy if I was able to do that for a career, kiss girls? And honestly, as of right now, I don't think I would because, there's too much public scrutiny. You get too much haters and too much jealousy and all sorts of other stuff. But I don't know. Perhaps it's worth it. The point is, though, after watching so many YouTube videos and studying all these channels and just studying them to see how I can improve my own YouTube channel, you tend to pick up on some very peculiar or unique stuff, a few exceptions to the rule, some weird stuff, and it's basically because after you watch so many channels, you find some things that most people don't find. And just to get you like a ballpark idea, if you have no idea who I am, one thing I used to do and still do from time to time is every day I will pick out like 3 or 4 or 5 channels off the top 2,000 list. And these are channels that have at least 1 million subscribers. The keyword is at least. So some may have 10 million, some may have 40 million, some may just have 1 million. But there is a lot of them, and that list is growing almost every day now. It used to be like, every month or, every few months, one channel would hit 1 million subscribers. Now it's just the floodgates have opened. Like, it's ridiculous. The point is, there's this one very interesting, peculiar thing I found that's kind of, depressing in a certain way, but also, it's, I like to look at things in a positive way. So it's also, positive because I feel happy for them nonetheless. And here's the thing. There are channels, quite a few, who have reached this, exclusive club. I still find it exclusive because right now there's about 1,500 channels, maybe 1,600, that have at least 1 million subscribers. And that's, in my opinion, despite it having 1,600 members, it's still a fairly exclusive club compared to the, billions of people on Earth. Despite this being a, seemingly exclusive club and so hard to get into and reach, and, being in the top 1% of, all these people who are hustling so hard to reach that on YouTube and putting all this work into their content, the thing is, I've found it surprising, but a lot of these channels have gone dead. Like, people have stopped posting on them. People have taken a break from them. People have literally just walked away from them and not posted in 2 or 3 years. I mean, there's a lot of examples. Some of them, they haven't necessarily gone dead, but they've gone from posting maybe weekly or 2 times a week to posting like once every 6 months or once every 3 months. And a few examples are Kev Jumba, FPS Russia, and Chester C, and I guess the list goes on. So why is this the case? I mean, it's so hard for people to get here. It's seemingly what they want. It's, what people are after. It's an exclusive club that's very tough to get into. And I think it's for a variety of possible reasons. One thing is some people just lose their passion. Some people, they spend every single day on their channel creating videos, working on their videos. And, when you do this 18 hours a day for 4 or 5 or 7 years, you can easily burn out or lose your passion. Like, people fall in and out of interest. I was going to say fall in and out of love. That's true as well. But people fall in and out of interest fairly quickly. They burn out. And, PewDiePie, I think he stayed on top because he's kind of held true to that. If you don't know who he is, he's the #1 most subscribed YouTuber as of now. He's about to hit 40 million subscribers, and he's still growing so much every single day. And one thing he constantly says is he does this because he enjoys it. It's fun. And he will stop doing it as soon as it's not fun for him anymore. And he's helped this guide him in his decision making on what type of videos he makes and everything. He wanted to move from strictly horror video games to other video games that interested him. And a lot of his viewers told him, how dare you not make horror games? But he listened to what he wanted to do. And then he moved from that to, vlogs. And then he stopped doing vlogs because he didn't want to lose the fun in them by doing them too often. And that seemed to work. And so, for these people, they just got bored. They lost the passion, they burned out, and they lost the interest. And that happens. And oftentimes, what channels work best on YouTube are the ones that's literally, they niche down really hard. And they pick one specific tiny little interest that is very easy to convey to new viewers. So because of that, they have to stick with this one thing. Maybe it's guns, maybe it's video games of a specific type, and they tend to move on. They tend to get bored of that. Like, maybe they're really passionate about it, but after a few years, maybe not so much. The second thing, I guess, is sometimes they move on to other things. So they may still be interested in entertainment, but no longer as much in the form of YouTube videos and so forth. They move on to movies or actual film in Hollywood. And so, it's interesting how this whole thing plays about, because it's almost like shocking that people would walk away from something that's so hard to attain. And yet it happens all the time. And, it really makes you think a bit. So, honestly, all I can say is, do what you want to do. But one thing is that I think some people, they have, underestimated the power of YouTube. And they thought that maybe if they moved to mainstream film, they would do better, even though they had already achieved success on YouTube. Or they looked at YouTube as a stepping stone to mainstream film. Now, more and more, I think, YouTube has its own place. And, the tremendous potential on YouTube is incredible. I have seen a lot of channels that are dying or doing horrible or slowing down, or they're getting very few views despite the enormous amount of subscribers they have. And fortunately, because I watch so many different YouTube videos from so many different genres and different channels, I realize that YouTube in and of itself is dying. And some of these people, they're pointing the finger at YouTube, and they're saying, it's just not working out anymore. But then I see all these other channels who are killing it. And I realize YouTube is not dying at all. And the channels I see that are really, they're taking off, or they're doing really well, I mean, they're putting in good work. Like they will, they're actually on YouTube. They love YouTube. They spend a lot of time on there. They put a lot of videos on there frequently, and they do an extensive amount of stuff on there. And their channels are just blowing up. They're getting so many views, and they're just growing, growing, growing. So YouTube in and of itself, I don't think is dying. It's just sometimes for certain people, like things for whatever reason, they just stop working out. And the last thing I want to say is that sometimes people rebrand their channels. And two big examples are Tipsy Bartender and Girl Gone Gamer. And sometimes people just completely 180 and rebrand their channels. They've lost their passion and interest in gaming completely. And rather than just packing it up and calling it quits, they want to salvage what they have of their followers and their subscribers. So they end up, you know, rebranding completely, and they lose. Sometimes they lose a good portion of their following, but they keep a decent amount because they already have a decent following. So Rhea from Girl Gone Gamer is an example. She's been on YouTube for a few years, and she grew quite a following on Call of Duty games, and then she completely rebranded into I would say uh, what's it called, girl lifestyle, where she basically like talks about her life, and it does fairly well. The drawback to it is that like all of her comments are really vicious, and they're really some of them are very abusive. Some of them are very sexual, and again, that's one of the things she has chosen to deal with, and I can't deny the fact that maybe she's doing it to herself a bit by the way that the type of video she's making, but you know that's kind of what she did. So she rebranded herself, and because her audience is 99% guy gamers, she just kind of has to deal with that, and some of them have kept with her. So yeah, I would say, it's very, very interesting. And honestly, what I have taken from that for my YouTube channel is, I'm still not completely sure, but, um, you know, I think it's important to do things uh, and enjoy them. And then, I have so much faith in YouTube that, um, as far as niching down, I do think niching down to a specific topic will help your channel succeed. But at the same time, if you niche down so much, what if you lose interest in that topic in a couple years? And it's very tough to rebrand that thing. So honestly, it's a tough call. If you have that dying passion, then you're already ahead of the game. If you don't, um, maybe stay broad enough in terms of your channel username so that you may be able to rebrand. But honestly, I think, for people just starting out, I think it's just best to just choose one topic and go with it. And then, if worse comes to worse and you don't like it, you move on. It happens. It occurs. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. See you later. Peace.